I've recorded this more than once. I didn't like a lot of them. This is, I hopefully think, the last one. So we're gonna get right into this. You exist on your own polar line. That is your life, everything that you've experienced, and you've considered some other things that happen to you to be good or bad. That's your subjective understanding, reality. We will come back to that. There might be a place that you want to be, some place that you want to get to, but you find it hard to be there because of where you are now. I'm going to tell you about polarity's web and how you can use polarity's web to actually get from where you are now to where you want to be. First, though, we have to understand what polarity is. In the Hermetics, polarity, by definition, defined by the three initiates, is everything is dual, everything has two sides, it has opposites. So good and bad are actually opposites of another, and hot and cold are opposites of another. But it also says that all of these opposites are just degrees of the same thing. So good and bad aren't really separate, they're just a degree of this one same thing, which we can say this one same thing is neutral. It is in the middle, right? Like a proton and electron are charged positively and negatively, but the neutron is just neutral. It's in the center and just is neutral. This leads us to understanding neutrality. So neutrality is just what I've been talking about. These things are neutral without positive or negative, they just are, and all things exist like this. We'll get into the subjective opinions later. Using neutrality, you can hop into the not even timeline, you can hop into the polar line that you want to be in with its good and bad. When you look at these polar lines, do understand that some people's high end of the polar line is actually might just be your low end, or your low end might be their high end. So it's subjective. Like, let's just say there's someone with a really nice house and you don't have that yet, and you're trying to achieve that. For them, that's all right. Like, I have it, it's cool, I got that. So it doesn't really matter much to me. But for you, it's impressive, it's great, because you don't have it yet. So you're trying to get that. So you're changing to get that. You're vibrating differently. We'll get onto vibration. As I've said before, we are subjective, but the world is objective. I didn't say it with those words exactly, but we as humans see things subjectively while the world itself is objective. If we were just to disappear one day, everything would still keep going on, but we wouldn't understand it with our subjective understanding of things. It would just be objective. It would just go on and things would just happen. This is more theory, but I believe it to be true. The closer the polar lines are to one another, the more of a vibrational match they are. They're closer to being the same vibration. But interestingly enough, high vibrations and low vibrations still coexist in the same place. Why? Though they vibrate differently, there isn't exactly another space that they take up. They're all actually just layered into this one place, so they're not separate from each other. They are each other in some way. Or should I say, how do I even explain this to y'all? Basically, they're in the same place at the same time. Okay? They're in the same place at the same time. And you can go from a low vibration place to a high vibration place, or you can go from a high vibration place to a low vibration place, because they're interconnected and they aren't separate. But that means that you can go from where you want to be, where you are right now. You can go from where you are right now to where you want to be by understanding neutrality, becoming neutral, seeing things as they are, hopping around different polar lines, you can get to, like, let's just say someone has something you want and they are, to them, they're like at the middle part of their polar line. You just have to head towards the bottom part, the negative part, or what they perceive to be negative, like the lower end of their polar line. Get that, and that already gives you access to that polar line. Once you have that, you can improve to the middle part and thereby have it. I really did just speedrun this, so